adjust your drone read, typically in a screw of some sort, some kind of adjustment on the drone using this, screws have to go up to raise the pitch, and then you flatten it with the drone, right? If they're up here, and if they're like loose like this, you'd want to. This is not good, right? So
Whose bagpipe is that? Oh, shocker!
yeah. So what happens is the hem should be even from top to bottom. And so when you see here, it's not really contacting, so it's only gripping when we get here.
I did that on purpose, so you have an example.
Thank you.
So if you happen to be up here, right, and it's loose, then we can't tune it. And if you're playing and you're marching, this is going to do this, and it's going to move. So what your hand joint should be is this firm, right, the whole way up, from top to bottom. It doesn't have to be tight, because I've got to be able to turn it and move it just like this, all the way down to the position. So there's two things that we're doing here. We're getting the head joint tight and firm, but not so tight that I can't turn it. And the bottom joint cannot be so loose that when we turn this, the bottom turns. Because then I can't tune the drone. Like you saw me earlier, I had to get Jay to hold the meter because I needed two hands. But we may not always have a second person to hold that meter for us. So it needs to be like this, that when we turn the top, the bottom stays in place, right? So again, if your drone is tuning down here, you want to adjust the reed up the way so that the drone top will follow your adjustment. It'll be up there. If it's tuning way up here, you're going to bring that screw adjustment screw down the way. Bring that down. So in the old days of cane reeds, you have to do it by adjusting the bridle. But the exercise that Andrea told you to set your bridles where the drone's shut off, once you get that right, you want to do all your other adjustments on that screw, not with the bridle. The other thing you want to do is check that the bag is airtight regularly, not just like it was airtight when the guy put my bag on. It was great. So that you do by taking these out, putting your corks in here and blowing it up. And it should stay tight for, I would say, minimum 15 seconds. It doesn't have to stay tight for an hour. You know, you're blowing into it regularly. But if you're blowing, the air's just going out, it's making your light way harder than it needs to be. Again, this chanter joint, you saw a bunch of these we had to take off, so I did it very quickly. So when you get home, you've got to adjust it where you can turn the chanter like this, but also, it's not like right? But it's not tight. And this is one of the things too, again, with this hand joint, you want it to be even from top to bottom because you have an inch of contact here. And so, because it's gripping all the way along, it doesn't have to be really tight to get an inch of that friction. If it's only gripping at the bottom, you're running the risk of it falling out. And if it's just way too tight, and you need to adjust tape or something, you want to be able to move it, and you need to get it back to be comfortable. So that needs to be firm, but not super tight, right? So fix all those things when you get home. Other than that, you're going to see we do have a lock tape on some of the chanters. And that's to give us flexibility. And one of the things we're thinking about is that the pitch here typically is higher. When you go to Scotland, because of the climate, days like this, it's going to drop. So then we'll be taking this tape off to bring our pitch back up to this. We're at 478. So we're going to be playing around 478, 480 is about the number we're looking for. When you go home, if, for instance, because of how we set it here, you find you put it on your meter and it's at 472, then I wouldn't adjust the tape a whole lot. Don't panic about what that number is, because that's what's happening in the environment in your house, but the basic position of the reed and the tape. What you want to achieve is, let's just say, for instance, that when you go home, well, we had 478 here, but when you go home, it's 475. Don't worry about the number, but adjust the tape so you get a straight line. If you're using that broad tuner app that I was using, I suggest you all get it. It's really simple. You want a straight line on all these notes, except for the high A. It's going to drop a little bit below. You don't want it right on there, you want a little 15, 20 hertz below. And that gives us a rich, vibrant high A, otherwise it disappears into the drones.
A little
So,
flatter, you think?
Yeah, on the flat side. So you don't want anything on the sharp side of that line. And today we got most of them fairly close, but as the temperature went up and as you get more comfortable with the reeds, I suspect some of them are too easy for you. There was a bit of, I could hear it overblowing, especially in those high end notes. So again, I would say to you to be cognizant of the fact that I can't play a hard reed. Well, we don't want anyone to play a reed that they can't play, but want you to get used to a reed that makes you work a little bit. That way it stays stable. When it's too easy and you're just really comfortable, I can play this for days, I guarantee you, you will overblow that top hand. Right, so there's just a little resistance, not where it's making you uncomfortable, that you can't play, not like that, your hands tight, no, it's too hard. But there should be a little effort involved, especially after you've played for an hour. You should feel like, wow, that was a little bit of work. That way the reed stays stable and you won't be overblowing it. So that's basically it. If you have questions, let me know, like, anything you need me to go over.
I think the only questions I have in terms of the reed, so if ladies are playing and say next month, oh, the reed gets really easy, can we just, can I just send them a new reed and have them blowing in and try to set it right where it is and that kind of a deal? So for everybody, for those of you that got the reeds, and if it is a little bit easier for you now, let me know. Maybe we can take care of it now as opposed to later. Or again, a month from now, if you're like, oh gosh, my reed's getting easy, let me know. So communication is going to be really, really important on that. Don't wait until the day of a band practice, if you make it, or the week of the Worlds, and say, oh, by the way, the minute you have a problem or there's an issue with a reed or whatever like that, let me know. I'll pop them in the mail to you. Yes.
They're Melbourne reeds, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And the other thing I would say for you, that these chances might be very different from what you're playing. So play them. You don't have to play them all day, every day, but just get used to playing, like Andrea had said earlier. You've got your own band stuff that you play, your solo chances. Just fit this one in as part of your routine. And so you play it a couple of times a week, get the reeds to settle, get some moisture on them. These reeds like moisture. I have a little spray bottle, a little squirty bottle you put inside the stock. You just take the chanter out, spray in the stock, just a little moisture. Because you can kind of hear when it gets really shrill and thin sounding, then it just needs some moisture. And that also keeps the reed a little beefier because it's factor sound.
You're not spraying on the reed directly.
No, in the stock. You spray inside the stock with moisture and just in that area with the wood in there. And it'll last like that for quite a long time. You don't need to lick the reeds. You don't have to dunk them in water, don't do any of those things. And if you've all got the chanter caps, the, I can't remember what you call it. The humidity control ones, so get the packs, they'll keep you around 70% humidity, and it should be stable, the reed should settle down pretty quickly.
So I got the 75% packets, but mine are staying at 68 to 70. So
again, it's winter now,
yeah.
the heat's on, so the atmosphere is dry, and that's why again some moisture in there, and that chanter cap should keep them pretty stable.
So I was having an issue where, it's not all the time, it wasn't consistent, but going top hand to low A or low G, it was swirling.
Right.
Obviously I was backing off, trying to play with backing off the pressure. Is that a too easy
It's
read?
too easy.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. But if you can do that to the reed, then it's too easy. That's,
So I
and
was
again,
saying you against.
you've got to find this balance, like between this is really comfortable and I'm enjoying playing this, to this sounds really rich and I'm enjoying the sound. No, I cannot play this, I'm killing myself, my stomach hurts. No, it's too hard. We don't want to hurt anybody, But you'll see the difference when you play a reed that makes you work just a little bit, it's just richer sounding and fatter sounding. It stays more stable. The weather changes, you clearly move the tape. And a reed like that, I play a reed, I get one reed a year. I make it last the whole year. And I hardly move the tape, it just stays stable. Easy reeds will change. In a sense, they're hard to control. So again, it's finding this balance, not where it hurts you or you cannot play. No, we don't want that. But it needs to just have some richness and strength to the sound. The easy ones get really shrill quickly and they're hard to control. That's where you get the early E, and you get the overblown high hand, and you struggle a little bit with nerves hit, he starts to scream, and then put a ton of tape on, So just find that balance, find what works for you. That second one that we gave you was really nice, right? The first one got so easy, by the halfway through you couldn't play, it's too easy. So find that thing. And these, they're all brand new, so usually a brand new reed is going to be a little too hard. And it'll take 2 or 3 weeks maybe to do this, like this is just really nice, I can play this, and I feel good, it sounds good, and that's the happy spot.
So if I can read.
Yeah, we have a few less.
yeah, I have a few.
Okay.
I'll bring some other reeds next time that are on the easier side, so not carving them so much, and easier to just start with them.
Okay.
Like that. If I put a bridle on it for you, it should be halfway on that. The reed is kind of like this, and it has a shoulder that curves in. On that shoulder, just above the hand, halfway in that space is where that rubber band should be. If there's one of them. No, that is definitely too easy. Because the rubber band makes it easier if we didn't need that at all. you know.
So you can move the bridle, yeah,
That's what we want. Sure.
is there a bridle on it?
And you didn't shave anything.
No, yeah, see, this happens to be red, so see, so it's right in the middle of this area, you see? The fat area of the reed before the blades shave in, right in the middle there. If you put it up any higher, it's gonna make the F and the G really unstable, so just about here. And it just closes the sound box down, makes it a little easier to play. So that's one way of taking a reed that's a little bit stiff. And the other thing is, when you pinch the reed here, not squish it till you kill it, but just pinch it a little bit and play it. It makes it a little easier for a while, and then it will come back. Makes it rich sounding. So just a little bit, that'll make it easy to bridle, make it easy. And then you'll find maybe after a few weeks you get it right off. Just roll it down onto the binding here, and that'll take that away.